Well, folks, we got massive news about Spider-Man 2. We're hearing about the gameplay reveal. We got a lot of leaks, and we're also hearing a little bit about Wolverine.
As everything is pointing to a new reveal happening very soon. So
we're hearing September, but let's see.
Talk about that, and we're also going to go over some of the recent leaks and rumors, and of course, we have to talk about when Spider-Man 2 PS5 is going to be releasing. So definitely stick around until the end because you guys do not want to miss out on it.
There is stuff coming out regarding Wolverine as well. We're hearing that Wolverine could be, you know what? I don't want to say it too early.
Do me a favor and hit the like button and subscribe to the channel.
Smash that like, hit the bell. Also hit the homie up, WesNemo as well.
PS5 is racking up more and more interest from fans and attracting a huge crowd with more questions about when we will see the game next. And most importantly, when is there going to be official news about this game apart from the leaks and rumors? And when are we going to see some gameplay footage and the next official reveal trailer? There's a lot of speculation about the game as of right now in regards to progress, mainly showable progress, like a cinematic trailer or like previously stated, some gameplay footage, especially since Spider-Man 2 wasn't in the Summer Games Fest. However, there is still some
Dude, it's been a year since we saw that. It's almost, come September, I believe 9th, it's gonna be a year since we saw the confirmation of Spider-Man 2. It has to be soon, bro.
That we'll hear news relatively soon in the form of the heavily rumored PlayStation 5 showcase that, according to industry insiders, will be happening sometime this month. Now, the PlayStation showcase,
we're hearing September 8th, but again, it's a rumor where we might also hear about the new Uncharted game, something related to Wolverine as well, but again, it's just a rumor. It might not happen, and they'd be like, okay, it's gonna happen next year. It would be sad if we don't get it this year, though.
This was rumored to be held in August of this year, but has now been rumored to have been moved to September. I don't know about you guys, but I am super excited to see what will be showcased and what news
there needs to be something.
As PlayStation has been pretty quiet as of lately, but all signs are pointing to Spider-Man 2. This month would be
They have been doing helicopters with their release, bro.
Time to show off the game at this event, because if you rewind time, and if history does indeed repeat itself, the last time we saw Spider-Man 2 also just so happens to have been revealed during the last PlayStation showcase in September of 2021, when they gave us the teaser trailer reveal that introduced Venom. So if we get anything like a reveal trailer or gameplay showcase anytime soon, it would make perfect sense to be at the PlayStation showcase, which, like I said earlier, is rumored to be—
If we don't get the PlayStation showcase, then there's 110% gonna be a state of play, but that could just be for God of War Ragnarok. So there will be something. I'm not denying that, okay? I'm not denying that, but we need a massive showcase too, bro.
Sometime this month. If you actually take a look at PlayStation's current lineup for next year, 2023, there really isn't many games announced besides Spider-Man 2, Wolverine, and a few others like The Last of Us faction.
And Wolverine is not even gonna be coming out next year, but we might see a little bit more about that game this year and next year.
So it's almost a guarantee that if we do indeed get a PlayStation showcase, that Spider-Man 2 is gonna be there as well.
Yeah.
Whether that's a new trailer or the official gameplay reveal, we don't know as of yet. But if it's releasing in 2023, they gotta start marketing it soon.
There's gonna be a gameplay reveal 110%, and Sony also did confirm that by 2026 they're gonna be putting out about 10 live service games. I know live service games are not what we want. They are not what we want, but live service is what makes them do. So I'm assuming they're gonna reveal some of that too,
because there's not really any other major game that's coming out next year that we actually know about at this point. Speaking of release dates, while Spider-Man 2 doesn't have a set in stone release date, Insomniac Games has come out to confirm that the game will release in 2023, with confirmation of the new God of War Ragnarok releasing in November of 2022, as well as The Last of Us Part 1.
Now, I wouldn't actually be glued to that release date. It can always get delayed. I hope not, because right now we do not know what other game will be coming out besides Last of Us Factions and Spider-Man 2 for PlayStation next year.
In a couple days, it's more realistic that we will see Spider-Man 2 in the later part of 2023. Also, with Insomniac Games developing Marvel's Wolverine at the same time as Spider-Man 2, it wouldn't be a surprise if we see one of those games getting pushed back to 2024, especially since we know Sony is pretty lenient with allocated time to their more money-making games. Also, with Insomniac Games hiring a new art director, Davison Carvalho, there will likely be some rearrangement or new input given to what's already there, since Carvalho comes from the Marvel Cinematic Universe, where he worked as a concept artist. Carvalho worked—
Yeah, bro, this was actually huge, man.
As a freelance concept artist on Marvel movies.
It still is huge.
Captain America Civil War, Doctor Strange, Strange, Thor Ragnarok, and Captain Marvel. This seems like a great move by Insomniac Games and has me personally excited to see what he can do for the PlayStation Marvel.
The budget for this game has to be huge. I mean, it's gonna be a console seller too, you know?
Games like Spider-Man and the upcoming Wolverine. If we do end up getting Spider-Man 2 during the next PlayStation showcase, hopefully they give us some answers to certain rumors, because there has been some crazy leaks and rumors that have been circulating that could easily make this one of the best Spider-Man games ever and lead us into the next game. Now, with the release of Spider-Man Remastered for PC, there has been some data mined information coming out after players went through the game files to see what could be in there. A user on Twitter discovered that the game has a reference to a multiplayer mode.
I mean, Wolverine 2.
Which was clearly not in the game at launch or even at the game at this current time. Now, this
yeah, that's true though. That's true. I did cover that too, because there was a Spider-Man Multiplayer code found in the game once Spider-Man actually came on PC. Somebody actually found that, and it's almost as though it was in development, but then later on they decide to cancel it. Or maybe another theory here is that multiplayer could be a thing for the upcoming Spider-Man 2 game. I think multiplayer would be insane, but they gotta focus on the single player, which I think they surely will.
Information has also been confirmed by VGC, who personally went into the game files as well and verified they were referring to a multiplayer mode. Now, with this information, we could be seeing a multiplayer in Spider-Man 2. Now, I did talk about this briefly in my last video, but all signs are really pointing to a multiplayer mode with Spider-Man 2. The fact that we're getting Miles Morales as a playable character and Peter Parker, and the fact that there's verified files in Spider-Man PC that talk about the multiplayer mode, it's seeming more and more like a reality rather than just a crazy rumor. Now, I would take this information with a grain of salt because we don't know if this is full confirmation.
Yeah, honestly, bro, like seeing multiplayer for a single player game on this size, it's not like, it's not a stretch or anything, but it just doesn't feel like it's gonna happen, because Spider-Man is one of those games, they don't need to make a multiplayer, they just need to work on the story, and it's gonna sell no matter what.
Obviously, it's not. It could just be files that they were testing around and it just happened to be in the game whenever they decided to port the game to PC. So this is not full confirmation at all.
What about Wolverine? Talk about Wolverine.
The fact that it would be absolutely amazing to be able to play with you and a friend and go through the entire campaign with you playing as Peter Parker and a friend of yours playing as Miles Morales. Not very often do you have a game that's an incredible single-player story adventure also having a fully working multiplayer co-op mode. It just doesn't really happen that often, and when it does, it doesn't really work out that well. But a game that is featuring both Spider-Man as Peter Parker and Spider-Man as Miles Morales, it would not only be a great feature to see added to the game, but it would also add some extra value from the likely $70 that you're going to have to spend on this game.
$70! $70!
Then, if you play the game by yourself, then you could play with a friend and try to beat the game on the different difficulty levels. But maybe that's just some copium from my end. I kind of miss the days of co-op multiplayer games. But regardless, I am super excited about Spider-Man 2. Now, since we talked about Miles Morales, I want to talk about the possibility of Spider-Man 2 leading up to the next Miles Morales game. Now, if you guys remember, Spider-Man 2 for PS...
It surely will be. It surely will be, because originally the Spider-Man Miles Morales was gonna be a DLC, but then they decided to just make its own game, and he's gonna be in Spider-Man 2, and this could be a setup to the future Spider-Man game, future Spider-Man, let's just say Miles Morales 2. I'm not sure what they're gonna call it. There's also a thing with the Wolverine 2.
4 came out in 2018, and then just 2 years later, we got Spider-Man Miles Morales on the PS5, which was an upgraded experience on the PS5, but with the minor fallback of the fact that the story was definitely kind of short. It felt like more of a DLC that was turned into a full game, but I've got a feeling that with Miles Morales being a big part of Spider-Man 2 on PS5, this game's story will likely lead up into the next Spider-Man PS5 game, which will likely be Spider-Man Miles Morales 2, which makes me think that Sony is working on making a Marvel Cinematic Universe of games with the story and the characters crossing over into different projects. And I think that
I don't know, there's some sort of like confusion with the Marvel, the deal as well. Like Sony don't want to let go from Spider-Man. They want to acquire the rights. I mean, there's some massive drama, so will they actually let them do that? I think with Wolverine they can do like Spider-Man Wolverine, they can combine it and maybe more characters in the future. I mean, damn man, just come on bro, like just work together, dog. Work together. It's gonna be so good, bro.
game that we're going to see this happen to is with the character Wolverine, because we know that Wolverine is going to be releasing a game sometime soon that also is being developed by Insomniac Games, like I said before, which leads me to believe that we're going to be getting either some references or on an even bigger scale have Wolverine integrated into Spider-Man 2 PS5 story.
Yeah, that's basically the theory going around, that Wolverine, it can be in the upcoming Spider-Man 2 game, that we're gonna see him. Maybe he's gonna come help in the game with a mission or two, maybe with the boss, you know, maybe like final boss fight, like Wolverine comes and help us out. But this is about Spider-Man, so Spider-Man is gonna be the main thing about it, but there might be a reference or two.
Exactly how Miles Morales was in the 2018 Spider-Man game. Now, there's obviously the concern that Wolverine may distract from the narrative in Marvel's Spider-Man 2, but the writing seems like it's on the wall. Sony, with the help of Insomniac Games, are creating a Marvel crossover universe, and I don't think it's stopping with Wolverine. There's a reason Insomniac Games hired the Marvel Cinematic Universe concept artist to be their art director.
Facts.
Obviously, we won't know if Wolverine will be in Spider-Man 2 until the game releases, but it's just a hunch and a rumor that's been going around, and I'm curious to see what your guys' thoughts are on it. Do you think we're going to get a Wolverine teaser, or do you think Wolverine will be pivotal to the story of Spider-Man 2? Next up, I want to talk about
I think they can definitely have some reference to him in the game, though. That's not really a crazy theory.
Spider-Man 2 on PS5 releasing on the PC. So with the confirmation of PlayStation releasing their own PC launcher like the Xbox counterpart, which they've already given launch windows for Miles Morales on the PC, but also Uncharted.
Yo, how would you feel? I've seen some people actually be mad by the fact that Spider-Man, how dare you put like Spider-Man on PC? Very few people have been mad, not many. And I mean, like Spider-Man 2018, yeah, came out in 2018, and now in 2022 came on PC. And Spider-Man is just one of those games I feel like everybody deserved to play that. This is such a massive franchise. It's beyond PlayStation, it's beyond Sony. I have made that Sony pony, okay? So I'm not like, yeah, I'm not a console fanboy or anything. I have PlayStation, so I know I'm gonna be getting this game, but I'm talking about other people. Like, give other people that chance, man. And surely Spider-Man 2, it's 110% gonna be on PC too, but when? That's the real question. Maybe a year later? I don't think they're gonna do it at launch. That just doesn't make sense to me, but let's see.
Legacy of Thieves collection. Now, it's not really a matter of if, it's a matter of when we're going to get Spider-Man 2 PS5 on the PC as well. With PlayStation heavily ramping up everything that they're doing on PC, it could be that we end up getting Spider-Man 2 on PC earlier than we expected, or at the very least not take 4 years to release on PC like what happened to Spider-Man 2018. I don't know about you guys, but I'm really excited to see all of the news that's coming for Spider-Man 2, whether it's going to be in a state of play sometime next year, or if it's going to be in the highly anticipated play.
There's 100% going to be a state of play for Spider-Man as well, but if you do not have a showcase, like a full-blown showcase for PlayStation, it will be sad, but I guess we're gonna just get the state of play for God of War. Click on this video on the screen because we're hearing that Call of Duty is going free to play on Xbox but not on PS5. Click on it and I'll see you right there. Subscribe.